Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty wild in energy tech. We're talking hybrid solar panels, but these don't just capture sunlight, they also get energy from rain.
That's right. It sounds a bit like science fiction, but the technology is developing fast.
Okay, so our mission today, unpack how this actually works, look at the real potential, and see what it can mean for sustainable power. And we're going to focus on a specific place, Roswell, New Mexico. Kind of interesting choice, right? So yeah, imagine every raindrop turning into a little power source. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. So the core idea, the real breakthrough here, is combining standard solar panels, photovoltaic, or PV, with something called triboelectric nanogenerators, TNs for short.
Tendings. Okay, sounds technical. How does hitting a panel with rain actually make electricity? Like usable electricity?
Well, TNs operate on a principle called contact electrification, static electricity. You shuffle your feet on a carpet, touch a doorknob, ZAP.
Okay, got it.
It's kind of like that. When a raindrop, which is conductive, hits a special surface on the panel, often something like fluorinated ethylene propylene, FEP.
Okay.
The friction between the moving water and that surface causes electric charges to separate. This creates a voltage, basically. And that voltage drives a current. So you're converting the kinetic energy of the falling raindrop directly into electrical power.
Wow. So we really are talking about making power during a storm. Is it, a significant amount or just a tiny trickle?
It's getting better, not just a trickle anymore. There's research out of Tsinghua University. They developed this structure they called a bridge array generator. And with that design, they hit a peak power output of 200 watts per square meter.
200 watts per square meter. That sounds like a lot for rain.
It is. It's about 5 times higher than what older raindrop energy systems could manage. So real progress is being made. But the real clever part is the synergy. You've got the PV cells doing their job when the sun's out.
Right, standard solar.
Exactly. And then the Tang layer kicks in when it's dark or when it's raining. So you get this potential for continuous, 247 power generation from one panel.
Okay, 247 power.
Yeah.
That's the dream, isn't it? But where does a tech like this make the most sense? Let's pivot to Roswell, New Mexico. You mentioned it earlier. It's famous for, well, other things. Not exactly rainforests.
Precisely. And that's why it's such an interesting test case. Roswell is semi-arid. It gets maybe 355 millimeters, about 14 inches of rain a year, mostly during the summer monsoon season, July to September.
So not a lot of rain overall.
Not a huge amount, no. But here's the other side. It gets a ton of sun. Over 280 sunny days annually. Really high solar irradiance, around 6.5 kilowatt hours per square meter per day.
Yeah, okay, so you have both conditions, sun and some rain.
Exactly, and that's where the hybrid approach shines. Think about summer in Roswell. It gets hot, right? Often over 35 Celsius, that's like 95 Fahrenheit. High heat actually reduces PV panel efficiency, sometimes by 10, even 25%.
Right, I've heard that. Panels don't like extreme heat.
They don't. But the 10 component isn't affected the same way, so it can compensate a bit during those hot times, especially if you get a cooling afternoon rain shower. Plus, in a dusty place like Roswell, rain acts like a free cleaning service for the panels, washing off the dust that blocks sunlight.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So beyond the tech specs, what does this mean for, someone living in Roswell or a business there? What are the real world benefits?
For a homeowner, well, it could mean less reliance on the grid and maybe needing smaller or less expensive battery storage systems. Imagine it's night, it's raining, the tanks could be powering essential things, lights, the fridge, without pulling from the grid or draining your battery. You could even think about extending pool heating season, using energy harvested from those off-season rains.
Interesting. And what about agriculture? New Mexico relies heavily on that, doesn't it?
Hugely important. Agriculture uses something like 80% of the water in that region. So these hybrid panels could power automated irrigation systems. Think sensors measuring soil moisture, systems using weather forecasts, all powered by the sun and the rain. It helps optimize water use, which is critical in a water-stressed area. Some studies on solar irrigation showed it could extend growing seasons by 4 to 6 weeks. That could be huge for crops there, like pecans or for dairy farms.
Okay, this picture is definitely compelling, but let's be realistic. New tech always has bumps in the road. What are the challenges?
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely hurdles. For one, Tang output, while improving, is still generally less consistent than PV output. So that hybrid approach is really key. Durability is another big one. These panels are out in the elements. UV radiation from all that sun can degrade materials over time. Windblown debris is also a factor.
So they need to be tough.
Very tough. There's research into special coatings, some are biomimetic, inspired by nature to help resist wear and tear, and wind. Roswell can get pretty gusty. The panels need robust aerodynamic designs so they don't act like sails, kind of like the lessons learned from solar panels on RVs.
Right, makes sense. What about cost? Is this affordable?
Ah, the economics. Right now, Tang production costs are still relatively high. It's newer tech. But like with solar PV, costs should come down with economies of scale, with mass production, and you could see future incentives helping out. Maybe federal tax credits could apply if it's seen as a dual-purpose generator. That's still speculative, though.
Okay, so summing this up, what does this all mean for you listening out there and for the future of energy?
Well, I think combining solar and this rain power, the triboelectric harvesting, it really opens the door to more consistent year-round energy generation, especially in certain climates. It could lower maintenance, with the self-cleaning aspect, and just support more sustainable local energy. Research is definitely ongoing to boost efficiency and bring down costs.
So here's a thought to leave you with. How might a technology that actually benefits from both sunshine and rain change how we think about energy independence, especially in places grappling with both intense heat and scarce water, like Roswell? It flips the script a bit, doesn't it?